If the world is a village in the internet era, guess who's seeing it most as a village? The Keralites. The old joke is that when Neil Armstrong and Edwin Aldrin landed on the moon, they found a Malayali tea shop. The new reality is that Keralites are expanding their presence across the globe, from Melbourne to Milan and from war-torn Ukraine to the Isle of Man. It was Canadian media theorist and literature professor Marshall McLuhan who coined the word global village in the 1960s. Perhaps he noticed how Keralites were seeing planet Earth as one social entity even in those days. In the 1960s and 70s, Keralites were migrating to Persia and Malaysia. By the 1970s, Keralite nurses were a common sight across German hospitals. And in the 1980s and 1990s, the great Kerala Gulf migration made Malayalam a commonly heard language in all of the Middle East. In the new century, the floodgates have opened as tens of thousands of Kerala students are migrating to every part of the globe, ready to study anywhere. In July, a new record was set when a Kerala-based study abroad consultant, Santa Monica, held a pre-travel briefing for 7,236 students going to Canada for studies in a single intake. Repeat, 7,236 students from Kerala going to Canada for studies in a single intake. In 2018, a study by S. Irudayarajan and K.C. Zachariah revealed that a fifth of all households in Kerala have at least one migrant member. Since then, the trend has only accentuated, with more families having somebody abroad. Therefore, more vacant homes, more vacant school and college seats, and a spurt in senior homes as the youth have moved out. But where have they all gone? To virtually every part of the world. And how have they been doing? Pretty well, one must assume. When I say that, I don't mean the early ones who made it big abroad, like a Lulu's MA Yusuffali, or a Galfar's P. Mohammed Ali, or an education sector titan like a Sunny Varkey, but the next lot and others who followed. Thiruvananthapuram boy Rajesh Subramaniam is the CEO of FedEx Corporation. If you didn't know, FedEx has a fleet of aircraft that is far bigger than that of Emirates. Last month, Jinson Anto Charls from Kottayam district, Kerala, took oath as a minister in the Northern Territory of Australia. The 37-year-old had previously worked as a registered nurse prior to his political foray. Last month, there was another Keralite from Kottayam district making headlines as a new Labour Party MP in the UK. 49-year-old Sojan Joseph went to the UK only 22 years ago and worked as a mental health nurse before the people of Ashford elected him as their Member of Parliament in the British Parliament. Last month, I had the occasion to meet UK MP Sojan Joseph and India's Lok Sabha MP Anto Antony, both from Kottayam district, together. By the way, Anto Antony is the uncle of Australia's Minister Jinson Anto Charls. Don't Keralites have a flair for politics? Elsewhere in the UK, another Keralite, also from Kottayam district, Baiju Thittala, has recently taken over as the first India-born mayor of Cambridge. While MA Yusuffali from Thrissur has been making global headlines in the retail sector, another Keralite, also from Thrissur, Ramachandran Ottapathu, has been scripting a retail success story in Africa, across Botswana, Zimbabwe, Zambia and Namibia, even making it to the cover of Forbes. And earlier this month, when the Vatican announced 21 new cardinals, one of them was a Keralite, George Jacob Koovakad, only 51 years old and only a priest when the announcement was made, not even a bishop. From Dubai to Memphis and from Botswana to the Vatican, there are so many Keralites around that it is natural that sometimes local residents may feel they're being colonized. Last month, an Irish man, Michael O'Keefe, posted this video about a Keralite family moving into their newly purchased home in Limerick with the comment, "Our country is being colonized by a country of 1.5 billion people." There seems no looking back for Keralites who are putting their imprints on the global stage. This week, while I'm shooting this episode, the Lulu IPO is the talk of all of the Middle East and beyond. The IPO is to raise $1.8 billion and for Lulu to be listed on the Abu Dhabi Stock Exchange. Elsewhere in the UAE this week, the 99-year-old Bima Jewelers from Kerala has announced plans to raise 1 billion dirhams to fund its expansion across the Gulf region. In the past, the Chinese, the Arabs, the Romans, the Portuguese, the Dutch, French and British came to Kerala. In these times, Keralites are travelling to all of these places and well beyond, putting their imprint on the globe, seamlessly integrating themselves into all of these societies and geographies, excelling in business, politics, nursing, and even gaining entry into the top echelons of the Vatican. And I am in Singapore on vacation. When hundreds of thousands of Keralites move out of the state, one would think that the state will be emptied of its skills, expertise, and capabilities. No such worries for now, as the talent train in Kerala seems unending. Like a bloopers video this week of a group of Keralites, Poppins dancers, is currently breaking the internet with 60 million views and counting.